This is a one-on-one coaching session that I did with an OT for a client that's pretty complex. They had a lot of hip limitations, and we're going to look at how those hip limitations actually caused a pelvic rotation and what cushions we can use to accommodate that. So we're going to look at all the different types of cushions that can be used and how do we choose the right pressure care needs, the right positioning needs, and also the right functional needs. Let's dive right in.
Yep, so this was him sitting in his wheelchair originally.
Mhm.
This was him lying down after I had kind of a bit of a play around,
Yep. See what's going on with his
trying to
legs.
get him, yeah, get him a little bit more neutral. But then, yeah, there's those legs that are.
Yeah, and so in this case, what I would be doing here, when I look at someone like this, what I'm really trying to assess is they don't necessarily have to get to that 99 position, but if we try to get him into a 99 position, what's pulling, like what's stopping us from doing it? So if we try to
Yeah.
lift his right leg or his left leg up and it comes up into a 90, is there a tension? Like I can see his knees are buckling in. Can we rotate his legs to be more aligned to neutral? Can we just get someone in the spot? If not, where's the tension coming from? That's really what we're just looking at when we're doing these assessments.
Yeah, so his left leg, which the left hip is the one that obliques when he's sitting in the chair, that one was able to get up to 90-degree flexion,
Yep.
but it was the right side that was only getting to about 60.
Yeah.
So not
Okay.
quite 90, but almost there.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. And so basically here, if we're looking at it like front onwards, one leg is essentially needs to go like that. It can't go all the way up. It wants to come up to 90, but it can't. It's dipped that way. Is that right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm very excited to see to advise on what we're going to do next. But yeah, keep going through it.
And then, oh, that's just an overhead view. I think
Yep.
when I pushed his knees in a little bit closer.
Yep.
Um,
That's perfect.
he does, yeah. He does tend to, in bed, he does tend to roll towards that left side as well, just in terms of his positioning. So obviously he does, there's a physio at the aged care facility he's at. So I was going to also talk to them about, could we look at some sleep positioning devices as well?
Yeah, it wouldn't have to be anything too complicated. Just imagine, yeah, just something to get in a bit more neutral. Maybe get a bend in his knees, something to push him over to the other side. It doesn't look too complicated for a sleep system, but he looked like he was someone that would really benefit from it. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. All right, so from that, so that was our assessment. Now we're gonna look
Mhm.
at what we want to do with it. So did you get him up on a seated position, or was it too hard,
Yeah, I tried to, and then there was a support worker there,
too
but
risky?
she wasn't quite capable to hold him and then me do the assessment.
Yep.
So I banded and I said, let's just get him lying down. So
That's fine. That's fine. We do want to see some level of seat, but if you can't do it, that's fine. But this is.
yeah,
You said he was high on his right side, did you? His hip?
yeah, yeah. So left is down.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
left is down. Did you? I know this is the hard thing about a mat assessment is like
yeah,
how much movement can you get, which is again why I'm not a big fan of the supine assessment. But
yeah.
do you think that it was quite flexible, or did it feel quite fixed, or too hard to tell?
It was a bit flexible. I think like with that hip flexion, it is quite, and that hip flexion there was quite movable, so we could definitely bring that up. I didn't feel like any big catches or blunt ends as I was moving around. Yeah,
I would
it was
say
elastic.
I would say for this client, what I would do in your next trial is
Mhm.
trial a Specs Constructor cushion or something like this. I can share my screen to show. I can give you a good example of what it is and why it would be suitable for your particular client. So it's quite a thick cushion. It basically allows you to scoop out some of the foam underneath the side where they don't have that hip flexion. So if we're, this is actually perfect for this particular client because it's fitting given that his left leg is can come up to 90, but his right leg needs to come down. Because
Yeah,
what happens if we don't accommodate this? If you imagine now when you're sitting down on your chair and your what's that, his right leg, if your right leg can't come to 90, if you try to drive your right knee down to the ground, if you want to sit back in your chair, you have to rotate your hips in order to allow for that muscle, that joint to open up. So
yeah,
what you probably might see in his original seating is that he might be a bit rotated because if you try to make a round peg fit in a square hole, it's going to move like you're trying to make someone sit like this and their body can't do it. So they're going to twist and accommodate to accommodate that position. So
yeah,
something like this or the SCX2. Does he have issues of pressure injuries or anything in the past?
yeah. He has. Was he? was just trying to think. There was one of them that said they don't like foam, they like gel.
Okay. What about air?
Possibly air. Yeah, air. Yeah. So he's on a Rojo hybrid at the moment. So I think air. No, he should be all right for that.
So I think there's probably a few cushions you could explore depending on
STX2.
what your supplier has and what they're comfortable in using. But this is just what I would, this is my personal opinion of what I would consider something like an STX2
Yep.
like this, where you can put in air cells at the back. They have this woven air
Yeah.
technology, which is a new thing that's coming out. It's supposed to be really good. I haven't personally used it, but it feels really comfortable and I'm quite impressed with it. But
Yeah.
this is really good because it does give you some structure, like a firm position in base, but it also allows you to take out some of these cells to accommodate that position that we're trying to talk about over here. Does it pretty well. Yes, it's worth exploring that one. You could also do the Vi Vector O2 cushion, which is a cushion like this, and I'll send you a case study after this call of someone that I've done a similar thing for, where she had a hip limitation, and we actually scooped out. So these are all like air. I can't remember what the shape is called.
Yeah.
Remember
I've seen them once
those
before.
little Sunny Boys? Remember the Sunny Boys
Yeah.
like back in the day? That's what these are full of, and it's actually they pressure map really well, and they also maintain your positioning. Like they do, you can do some pretty cool stuff with positioning. So if you look from a bird's eye view, we could scoop
Yeah.
out some of the cells in this one and this one to allow for that leg to dip down. And then if he's got that internal rotation, we can actually put some of these cells into the pommel to stop his
Mm.
leg from coming in. This is exactly what I've done for a case study that I'm going to share with you after this call. Very similar situation where she had that limitation. So we moved those cells out of there, put it into the pommel to give her more support. And she had a pressure injury before, so we really wanted to maintain a really high level of pressure care. And so this cushion was a good fit. She was also incontinent. She was quite wide and had multiple carers. And so the good thing about this cushion as well is that if people it's pretty maintenance. Nothing's maintenance free, but even if you put this on the wrong way or upside down, it's not like it's completely disastrous. Like it's not ideal, but
Mm.
compared to someone putting a gel cushion on the wrong way around, that's can be disastrous. So this is
Yeah.
quite safe for facilities where there's multiple carers. It still gives you a lot of good pressure care and is quite adjustable to accommodate for different positions. So worth
Because yeah,
exploring.
yeah, I think my initial thought was the XTX2. I did have that written down, the woven air.
Yep,
But the Vicar there actually looks really good because he is in aged care. So having something with a lot of pieces that could potentially come out or come loose if they're not aligned properly. The other thing is that he does love to dance in his chair as well.
that's perfect. It seems like my kind of guy.
So I just looking at the Vigor there, like something where he can still move around a little bit, but still be supportive. The STX2, maybe he might feel a little bit trapped in,
Confined in it, yeah.
and not able to move around as much.
Yeah, I
Um,
find, I don't know if you've ever sat in one of these, they just sit, there's a good photo of it somewhere, but it just brings everything into alignment really because it
mm,
shapes around you. Even
yeah,
if someone's like a bit oblique, it just, in my experience, you put people in this cushion and it just creates a lot more natural alignment without having to do a lot of adjustments. Rather than forcing people into it, it just guides them into the position where you want them to be.
yeah.
So
Okay.
worth considering. You might see something on the trial that's this is not suitable. There might be some. It's hard for me to tell from a few photos, but if it was
Yeah,
me, I
yeah.
would be exploring those two cushions. And again, you can still work with your suppliers. Like your suppliers might have another solution around this, but you could say, "Hey,
Mm,
I'm thinking the SDX cushion and the Vicare for these reasons." And now they might be like, "Oh, dude, we've got the right design cushions which can do that and this way," and that's fine as well. You can be, all right, as long as we're achieving this. That's fine, but I'm
yeah.
thinking this because I want low maintenance. I want the ability to adjust for a limited hip flexion. I want the ability to shape. He's got internal rotation of one of his legs. I want high pressure care, whatever, all the
Mm,
stuff that we wanted. So if we can achieve this, cool, then I'll take whatever cushion is worth trialing. We can let the client decide and make a decision from there. So this
yeah.
doesn't mean necessarily telling you this is the cushion to go with. This is like the thought
Yeah.
process around it, and then you can work out whatever's right based on your environment.
Okay. No, that sounds amazing.
So that's it. A hip limitation is the number one reason why you might choose to do a supine mat assessment. If somebody has a hip limitation, if they can't bring their knee all the way up to 90, you have to accommodate that in the cushion. We can use a variety of cushions, but for this one, it seems like the Vicare is worth trialing, as well as the STX2. But that's the idea. We want to trial these things. We want to have a theory of what cushion might work, and then we apply this theory in a real life scenario and see what actually works. I hope that was helpful. Oh, and by the way, if you're an occupational therapist and you want to learn how to prescribe wheelchairs like an absolute boss so you can stop second guessing yourself and know exactly what to do for your clients, I can show you exactly how. I run a program that walks you through absolutely everything from start to finish and includes one-on-one support like the one you just received. If you want to know more about it, check out the description. There's a link to book in a call. Have a call with me. Let's see if it's a good fit. And if it is, I'll walk you through exactly how it works. Bye for now.